Okay, I adjusted my camera, so it should be better now. Next word, next letter is L. You can write it like this or like this. This is kind of fancy. This is normal. You can also write it like this. The little one is also either this way or this way. L. The problem with this sound is that it has to be really hard. I mean, you have to make sure that the middle of your tongue is really down. Kind of imagine that you've got a tennis ball in your mouth. Then you say L. Okay, so words with it are ложка. That's a spoon. Ложка. As a name, it can be Lolita. Lolita. And in this case, the first L is hard and the second one is soft. A soft one, of course, doesn't have this feature of having your tongue down. The opposite, you have it, you should raise the middle of your tongue. So it's Lolita. And then another soft one would be in the word телефон. Телефон. You can guess it. Okay, next one is M. Usually like this, could be like this. Little one, the same. Okay. It does not have this spelling. That's not possible. That's a te. Okay, some words with it. For example, мобильник. That's a mobile phone. Мобильник. Москва. Дом. That's a house. We don't have different words for house and home, but as home, this word has special forms which it doesn't have as house. Okay, then we've got N. That's a really fancy N. Of course, you can just write it as an H. And the little one. Well, there is not much room for difference there. Okay, and some words. Окно. That's a window. Окно. Насморк. That's a cold as a disease. Насморк. Okay, and a name. Николай. Николай. Okay, move on. We've got O. Well, that's simple. O. And some words like он, he, она, she, оно, it. And together they make они, they. Okay. Then we've got P. Could be like this, of course. But the little one still, it would be this shape. The big one could be like this. Some words with it. Петр. is Peter. Then Programma. That's a program. And Opera. You can guess it. Okay, that was for the first half of the alphabet. Let's have a look at the second half. Okay, next one is Re. Now this is how it should be written. Yeah, this one is even like this, something like that. Yeah, and the little one doesn't have any circles in it. I find it strange. I mean, I found it strange even when I first learned to write it. So instead I write the capital one like a printed letter, and the little one something like this. Well, usually make a hook there. Anyway, it's only important that when you write the little one, that this stick hangs down from the line. It must hang down, otherwise it won't be recognizable. But everything else is not important. Okay, let's have some words with it. Работа. That's work or job. Работа. Радио. Радио. Картинка. Картинка is a picture, but not a photograph. Okay, next letter. S. Okay, well, pretty simple. It only has one reading. It's S. It can never be pronounced like anything else. In some cases, it can be pronounced as Z if the next, the next letter, next sound is a voiced consonant. Then it's just due to assimilation, it's pronounced as Z. But it is the S in Russian, and that's what it should be. Okay. So some words with it. Снег. Here it's S, but in the word, for example, сделать, it becomes Z. Сделать. Снег is snow. Сделать means to make, like to finish making, to complete the process of making. Okay. And then the capital one, Суздаль. It's a town, a very old town in Russia. Very nice. Okay. Then, yeah, did I call this letter Re? Because of course it's R. I must have fallen asleep there. Okay, so it's R, S, and then we've got T. Now, T has two completely different writings, as you've noticed already. So the standard one, the one that we learn at school, is this. It looks like a wedding cake to me. Now, a cake, the kind that is served at a big celebration, is торт. It has two of them. So, for me, I just associate торт with this letter. It looks like a cake to me, but that's my personal thing. Okay, the other way to write this letter is just like this, and the little one usually has this triangle here, because you're too lazy to take your pen away from the paper, so you get it like this. You can write the capital one like this too. All right, let's see. Important words with it. Toilet. That's toilet. Okay. Theater. Theater. Test. That's a test. Okay. In this case, the T is hard, although there is a Y after it, because it's a borrowed word, and in borrowed words we often keep the letters before, the sounds before Y hard. It's a bit of a crazy rule, but it helps avoid producing too many homonyms. Okay, next one is U. It's U. It doesn't have any other readings. It's U. And some examples. Утро. That's a morning. Утро. Универсам is basically a supermarket, but it's a Soviet word for supermarket. It's short for universal shop. Okay, and here we go, supermarket. Okay, that's a modern word, of course. Okay, then letter F. Now, I have big problems with letter F. I've just realized that I can't write it the way it is supposed to be written. It should be something like this. Yeah. So you make these two coils first, and then the stick. Yeah. I usually do this. And I think that it's much, much, much easier. And just now, before I started this video, when I was practicing, I realized that I really couldn't fit this one inside a word. I don't know how people write it. Anyway, let's have some words. Film. Well, it's a film. As a movie, not as a tape or something. Okay, then... Fantastica. That's fantasy, or any kind of... Well, fantasy and science fiction are both included into this term, fantastica. Okay, then some really necessary words. If you want to learn Russian, you really have to learn these words. So we've got this word fig. Well, it's this gesture, and well, basically it's a rude refusal. And there are lots of derivatives from this word, like tons of them, such as, for example, naфиг. That is, for example, when you want to throw something away and you really hate this thing, then you say that you throw it, нафиг. Or if somebody offers you something, but you feel that it's unsafe or maybe unpleasant, then you just say нафиг. Or another word, нефига. Нефига means that somebody shouldn't do something. Like, for example, your colleague complains that they have a hangover, and you say нефига drinking yesterday, or something like that. Okay, and a really important one is нафига. It's why or for what. Whatever for. Okay. Then, next one. Next one is ha. No, I got out of the line. It should be here. Okay. Well, it can be like this, of course. All right. Well, I'm not going to make all the swear words with it. There are lots of them, but let's keep it decent. And let's have a look at some common words like хорошо. That's well. Or good. Then хочу. I want. Хочу. Then the Heathrow Airport would be spelled Heathrow. And then there is Russian word хитрый, which means cunning. So Heathrow Airport kind of sounds cunning in Russian. All right, a little bit left. So next one is це. That's how it's written. It's basically an E, and then you have a tail, like from a U. Okay. Some words with it. Ценности. It's valuables or values. Цыц. Well, it kind of means shut up. Especially when somebody is complaining and this somebody is a small child or somebody socially inferior to you, I guess. Okay. Цыц. It's a funny word. Цыц. Okay. Cha. You start like an U, but then you make the tail go the other way. And the little one, it's not like an U, it's like a written R. Okay. For example, читать, to read. Читать. The place where I live in Moscow is called Чертаново. Чертаново. Okay, next one. Ша. It's a difficult letter to read. It's easy to write, but difficult to read because it has so many hooks in it. Gets confused with other letters a lot. Okay, so for example, when we're having a class, I can tell you пиши, which means write, as in write with a pen, yeah? And so I order you, write. And you are like, okay, I'm writing. And that would be пишу, I'm writing. All right, and this is the capital one. Школа. It's a school. Школа. Okay, then we've got the letter ща. Well, the most common words with it would be the two soups. Щи. And борщ. Щи is made of pickled cabbage. Well, it can be of fresh cabbage, but the best ones are from pickled cabbage. And борщ, of course, you know. Some other words with it would be ищу. That's I'm searching. Ищу. Or there is actually a word ща. Well, it's of course slang, and it usually isn't written. We say it because it's a short for сейчас, which means in a second, in a moment. Like, for example, when you want somebody to do something for you and they're like, oh, just wait a second, I'll do it, just wait. And that's what they say, sha, sha. Or if, say, I want to send you a file by Skype, but of course it takes me forever because I need to find it in a folder and so on. And I'm like, sha, I will send it to you. Okay. Then we've got this lovely guy. The hard sign. The Russian name for this letter is Tвердый знак. It doesn't have its own pronunciation and it cannot be capital. Nowadays, it only ever means y. So, for example, съесть means to eat, such as to eat up, to finish whatever you're eating. So here, if you write it without it, that would be сесть, which means to sit down. But this is съесть. This is to eat something. Yeah? So in this case, it means y. A different word would be объявление, which is announcement or advertisement. Again, it means y here. It used to mean it used to be put at the end of words or at the end of syllables with consonants there at the end to signify the hardness of these consonants. But when the Soviet Union reform of spelling took place, it was removed in this meaning. It is still called the hard sign, even though it doesn't do anything that is hard, but it's just the memory of what it used to do. Okay, and then there is this soft sign. Well, they go soft sign, then u, then hard sign, then u, then soft sign, but it's not very important. Okay, so the soft sign actually makes sounds preceding it soft, such as июль, that's July, июль. If there weren't a soft sign, it would be июль, июль, июль. There is a difference. Okay, but it also works just like the hard sign in that it creates the y sound. For example, пьяный, пьяный, that means drunk. Пьяный. That's different from пьяный. That's what it would be without it. Okay, another example where it makes something soft is любовь. Любовь. Here, v becomes f because it's at the end of the word, and then it softens. Любовь. Okay, and but there are some cases in which it's redundant, such as ночь. Ch is always soft, but you still have to put the sign here. It's a spelling rule. It's not always after ch, just in this word. Okay, then there is u. U. It's like a soft sign, and then you connect it with a stick. It cannot be capital because no words start with it. In fact, it's a variant of E, which happens after hard consonants. Okay, some words with it. Тысяча is 1,000. Тысяча. Мышь. That's a mouse, including a computer mouse. Мышь. Okay, then we have e. Well, basically, I don't know, how do you say it? Well, you kind of start writing an O, but you stop before finishing, and then you have this little tip here. And this one is written like a schwa, basically. The little one. Of course, it can be like this too. But when you write it, typically they all become schwas. All right. This word is rare in Russian, in native Russian lexis. It's almost exclusively occurs in words like это, этот, эти, which means this, that, this thing, or this man, or these things, or something like that. It's well, it's what are they? Determiner? Yeah, I think it's a determiner. Yeah, in neutral or masculine or plural, eta would be feminine. But mostly this letter occurs in borrowed words, such as Aeroflot. Aeroflot. Here we have it. Or Eureka. That's Eureka. Eureka. Alrighty. Just a little bit left. You. You kind of start writing an N, that is a Russian N, yeah? You write the first half of the N, and then you write an O. And that's you. Little one is the same, only without this flag in the beginning. Also start an N and then an O. Okay, some words with it. Menu. That's menu. Menu. Okay. My name. Julia. Okay. Yug. That's south. Yug. Alright. And then we've got letter Ya, which is the last letter in the alphabet. And it's also the first person pronoun. Ironically. And like I said, to me it looks like this guy kind of, you know, standing, that's his face and nose, and that's his arm, like, which is on his hip, and his legs are wide apart, and he's all proud of himself. So it's yeah, you know, it's me. Okay. Well, some words with it. Yaroslavl is a city, also a very old, nice city, something worth sightseeing. Пять is 5. Пять. That's where ya is actually pronounced as ya. Yaroslavl, it's pronounced more like yi. Yaroslavl. Yeah. Пять, it's pronounced. Then 50, which is 50. 50. Again, it's more like i. Yeah. So when ya is not stressed, it's pronounced like i in most cases. Or if it's very far from the stressed syllable, then it would be just a schwa. Okay, well, that was the alphabet. Good luck.